a very political person. My politics are kill pigs. You know, and none of these guys ever, and I never see on the ballot box any politicians saying we have to take guns and shoot LA policemen in the guts. They never say that, therefore I never vote.
I think you got a low self-opinion, man.
For us, music is free. It's just out there, and we don't go, okay, we're gonna write a rock song, and we're gonna write our reggae song. I mean, we're not that conceived like, you know, some bands, you know, they have a concept. You know, they wake up in the morning, Achtung, into the studio, and they make the record. We don't do that. We just write. Music comes to us, and I don't know what kind of music we play. Like anywhere, what you see on television and movies, you get a lot of stereotypes. And so what, you know, a lot of people ask me, you know, like, I guess they're just trying to get a rise out of me. Like, oh, I suppose you are friends with Ronald Reagan. Oh, yeah, we get together every morning for breakfast and, you know, talk things over. I mean, come on. But a lot of people think we're all gun-carrying, blood-dripping maniacs. And that's only about 90% of the population. That's not all of us. You know, there's some thinking, feeling people in my country as well. I mean, hell, James Brown comes from America. John Coltrane, Jimi Hendrix, Ted Bundy. Ozzy Osbourne. When I'm in Europe, I find myself talking about America a lot, just because it's such a different culture from out here. I mean, and you don't ever get a sense of it. I don't ever get a sense of it unless I'm out here. Because when I'm in America, I'm just one of those Americans in America. But when you're out of America, all of a sudden you're American. And, you know, and you really see things differently. It's a different trip over there. I mean, a lot more violence, a lot more pollution, a lot more, it's just hairy. You know, it's like a movie set or something. So when you come out here, you still have a lot of that American paranoia, violent vibe. And like someone comes up and goes, hey, you're like, what? Oh, hi. You know, because in America, you don't know who's packing a gun. You really don't.
What am I doing here? 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 Yeah.
Lollapalooza, I'm sure your listeners know what that is at this point. That was fun, and I wouldn't want to do it again because it was 45 minutes of playing and 8 hours of standing around waiting to leave. And it was totally fun. I had a great time, and I think we could use that 6 weeks more effectively on our own and play our hour and 50-minute sets, which is what we like to do.
You must think you're gonna live forever. I listen to the lies as they fall from your face. You must think that you are mighty clever. Can't you find a better way to deal with this place?
I do a lot of the speaking dates when the band's not on tour. I go around the world by myself. I do Australia, America, Canada, Europe. I go all over. The spoken word thing is way more of an overtly mental process, where the band, it takes concentration, but it's a lot of physical preparation, stretching, you know, a lot of breathing, just getting the body ready to go out and hit it really hard, which is the way we do it. And the spoken word thing doesn't involve a great deal of perspiration. It's just a lot of concentration and relaxation, you know, just so you can be yourself on stage instead of being, you know, having to get into this bag, you know.
Let's be right. Yeah.
If I went out like some comedian, well, a good comedian probably knows most everything he's gonna say, you know, word for word, you know, like, does anyone have a dog out there? You know, that kind of stupid stuff, which to me is really insulting, you know. That's why I always liked Lenny Bruce, someone who went out there and was a guy with feelings, you know, he went, hey, you know, I worry about you, I like you, that's why I think about this. And he would just go into this thing, you're like, wow, this guy's playing without a net, this is live, you know, it's great. After I finish a spoken show, it's really depressing. I'm very depressed.
You got a low self-opinion, man. I see how it breaks you down. I see how it messes you around.
I'm on the continent where someone might be speaking German as their first language, English as their second, I don't like go, okay, then I walk, you know, I don't talk down to people, but I try and be very clear with what I say, and I try and not to use any kind of slang or something that is too much of an Americanism where I'm going to potentially leave someone in a lurch. Because they're trying hard enough to understand a language that they don't use every day, and you got to give them some respect for that. You got to give them a break by not going so fast and so slanged out so that we're like, well, what did that mean? Because when they're trying to figure that out, you're 9 sentences down the road and you've really lost them. So you just want to be clear. Hello, my name is Henry Rollins. I'm from the Rollins band, and today I'm in beautiful Dublin, Ireland. I've never been to Ireland before, so it's really great to be here with the beautiful scenery in the background. I always thought graffiti was the kind of thing a guy or a girl does when they really have too much time on their hands. Like if you're a moron, you write on walls. I mean, look at this. It looks like there's a whole lot of morons coming by this place. I would never write on a wall. I think it's decadent. I think decadence is for idiots. Anyway, I've been all over the world for many years, and I've come to a couple of conclusions. And here's a couple of my conclusions for you, okay? I've come to the conclusion that everyone's feelings are valid. What you feel and what, say, someone like The Edge feels are the same. His grief isn't any cooler than your grief, so don't ever put anyone else's grief before your own. Don't ever put anyone else's joy before your own. Your joy is just as joyful as someone like Bono. And so your good times are as cool as anyone else's good times. I also came to one other staggering conclusion that probably everyone else did when they were 8. I'm 31, it takes me longer, thanks to all the glue I did as a child. But that's humor, damn it. Anyway, my last startling conclusion is that even when life is at its worst, like when you want to kill yourself, like when you think to yourself, I know, I'll blow my head off right now, or where's that extension cord? I'll hang myself. Even at life's worst, when it gets worse all the time, I mean, it's a horrible thing, life. You know, you get up in the morning and you shower it, you take it to work, you get yelled at by some overweight guy in a tie, you drive your body back home, you rub it up against another body of your liking, you put it in front of a television, you know, watch a couple of YouTube videos, you know, put some alcohol in it and trundle it off to bed. And you do this until you drop dead, and somehow you're supposed to be grateful. And I know for the more sensitive of you, life can be a very puzzling and kind of futile exercise in monotony. But even at its worst point, I figure life is great, because life can be over very ungloriously, very randomly, and without any kind of big salute or fanfare. A few weeks ago, my best friend of 7 years got his face shot off 5 feet away from me, and there was not a drum roll. David Lee Roth did not come on a float with a bunch of women with surgically implanted silicone injections. He just got his face shot off, and he died very ungloriously on my front porch, and I mopped up his blood the next day with my bare hands in a pail of warm water. So life was over for him very quickly. The last person he ever talked to was a guy at a supermarket who checked out his groceries. When we walked out of the grocery store, you would not have been able to convince my friend he had 3 minutes to live. You would not have been able to convince him he had less than 180 seconds in which he would be around before he got splattered. So what I'm saying to you is, life is great. Even when it's depressing, even when it's hard, even when it's horrible, it's great, and it's all you've got, so take care of it. So don't do drugs. Don't put that filthy alcohol in your beautiful body. Live long, live strong. Only idiots die young. They say the good die young. Well, if you walk into a bullet, I figure that's not really your fault. But if you're going to destroy yourself and go out like Johnny Thunders, you know, I think you need to get some help. And I'll help you. Send me your wallet, I'll help you. But seriously, friends, live long and live strong.